Anthony Stolarz. I put the tweet out yesterday. Talks haven't started yet with Stolarz. I anticipate that will over the coming weeks, but at the very least, you're having a conversation. I think the sample size is getting there. I don't know if you would agree with that. I mean, he was behind Bobrovsky last year, but this year really exploded. It was unfortunate the way the season ended for him, but I thought he was excellent. And so would you be prepared to go, say, 4 or 5 years at around 5.5, 6, maybe even 6.5 with Anthony Stolarz?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I like where he's at right now, but that's not a reality of the situation. I don't think there's any rush for this. I'd like to see him this year again and have him in another season where, just give him an opportunity to continue doing what he's doing. But I was very vocal about being very high on Anthony Stolarz. He was a calming presence back there, and I mean, there's just no way that they don't come to some kind of deal. I think Stolarz wants to be in town, and the Leafs, like, why on earth would you not? He gave you everything you could have asked for in spades, and was a big reason why your team had the success that it did, albeit shorter than they were planning on. But I imagine that will be done this year. To me, no rush. Let's see him play again and have him get out there and get the teams or get the two parties together and figure something out, hash it out. But yeah, it's going to be a solid hit, and his numbers are good. And he's, I don't know if you call him in his prime or not, but 30 years old, he's looking sharp and did everything you could have asked of him, as I mentioned, and was really high on Stolarz, and I would fully expect him to pick up right where he left off. So it'll be interesting to see where those negotiations go.
Yeah, the good news, saw the video yesterday. He's already practicing in anticipation for next season. And I think from the Maple Leafs perspective, what you have to weigh is how much more money can Stolarz make if he doesn't sign a contract extension this summer, goes through next season, and at some point in time you sign him. Can he make an extra $2 million? Can he get into that threshold where he's making 7.5? Because as mentioned, there's been a lot of examples. We went through them last month of goaltenders around sort of the same level as Stolarz, been going in for around 5.5, 6, 6.5. The cap going up as well. So that market has been established. And I think from the Maple Leafs perspective, you have to think about that. And you also think about, like, okay, if it's not Stolarz, who is it? How much do we believe in Dennis Hill to be moving forward? Who should take that next step, you would think, over the next year? A lot of questions to be asked, but I think Stolarz has proven enough for it. It's like, at the very least, have that conversation. And I would feel pretty comfortable considering what I've seen not only last year, but this year from this guy, especially in a more prominent role in Toronto, right?
Well, it is prominent. I think he stood out. Like, when I think of the goaltenders, I think of Stolarz as the starter and Woll as the very capable backup. I mean, as we stand right now, that could very well change, and they're going to go back and forth, and they're going to ride hot streaks, and no one can predict the future. But right now, I look at him as the number one just based on his performance. Again, the calming presence he has when he's on his game, which is the vast majority of the time. He is a big body back there. His positioning as well. He seems to have his angles, and he seems to be very calm back there. And it's just odd, like, just in his movements, you can see his confidence. I think that helps out the D very much. And Woll can do that as well. I'm not, we're talking about Stolarz right now, and I'm not trying to have him step on Stolar's feet, but I do think of him as the number one, unless something changes. But again, I think it's going to be a very similar setup as last year. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Stolarz picked up right where he left off.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.